Then away, we've still got four of the bottom six to play away. So they're clearly 6 pointers. So there's plenty of points to play for you. And it's not all doom and gloom because actually, as much as we've analysed what we didn't do right in that game, there was a lot of positive things in that game. We played some good football. So welcome back to Small Heath Alliance FC. And I don't think any Birmingham City supporter will disagree that this weekend has not been great for us. Firstly, we lost 3-1 to high-flying Ipswich Town in the Championship. And secondly, every club around us won their matches. So in this video, myself and Matt are going to be discussing the match. So I'm going to hand it straight over to Matt and say, Matt, what did you think about the match?
So overall, I was really disappointed in the way we conceded all three goals. I thought defensively they were all avoidable. But how many times are me and you going to either walk away from St.Andrews or do one of these preview videos and talk about sloppy mistakes or, defensive errors or not concentrating for the whole 90 minutes? We seem to be a team where we have little patches in games. We're not switched on for the whole 90 minutes. And I think that's what happened against Ipswich Town again at the weekend. And you called it. If anyone watched that preview of the game me and Dad discussed last Friday, you said what's going to change this game, it will be sloppiness or mistakes. Sorry, you said mistakes was going to change this game, and I think all three of those goals were avoidable, and especially the second one. I thought Dembele didn't track back quick enough. He didn't follow his man, and how many times that was a mirror image of 5 goals we've conceded this season down our own left hand side. Really poor, really disappointing to see. But overall, we need to cut out those defensive errors if we're going to stay up this season.
It's a big problem, isn't it? I totally agree with that. All I can say is that it was a long journey back from Ipswich. It's never nice coming back from an away ground after you've lost. But as I mentioned in the intro, added to the fact that we've been sort of again pushed by all the other teams around us because they all won. It wasn't a great journey back, and you are right. The performance was disappointing. There were patches, and that's something you've highlighted that I think is important because it's all right playing in patches, but that's not going to win you football matches. The level of consistency has to be throughout the match. Look at the Leicester game. I know that we're playing not Leicester's full strength team, but we were great for 45 minutes and then just completely ran out of it in the second half. That's going to lose you games. Just to look at the starting lineup as well, which is very interesting, is that the only change that we had in the starting lineup was Bielek was replaced by Deon Sanderson, and later found out that he's got a very minor groin injury. So he's from what I've read, it's not major and he should be okay for Southampton. So the team was a change. But on the bench, there was a bit of something interesting. There was no Keshi Anderson. He'd been not even given a place on the bench. We still have Burke, who also is not, and Longello, who are not being picked. But we had Hogan back on the bench again. And interestingly, we still haven't seen anything really apart from half a game of Alex Pritchard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think what was really, and this might be an odd point to raise so early in the discussion, but for me, right, fair enough, Ipswich Town had the better of the first half. It started off like a rocket ship, and then Ipswich really grew into the game. And then about 35 minutes, 40 minutes, we came back into it. And I think we came out in the second half firing. And I think we got it to 1-1. We came out in the second half, and then really odd timing of substitutions and really odd choices in substitutions. Like, we were on top. I think we were on the front foot. And at 1-1, at one point, I thought we were going to go ahead and actually nick a goal and possibly win the game. Yeah. And then when Dazal and Paik went off, it completely changed the dynamic of the game. We immediately went on the back foot. As I said, we conceded that second goal with Dembele not tracking back, and that completely changed, the dynamics of the later stages of the game at that point. But for me, really odd timing of substitutions and really odd subs to do as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally agree about the substitutions. I found that strange as well. When I was at the match, I turned around to my daughter and said, when I saw that he brought on Bakuna and Dembele, I said to my daughter, we're probably going to end up losing this game. And this is only going back to what I've said in previous videos. If you do look at the videos, I've always questioned whether or not we can play Bakuna and Dembele together because, going forward, they clearly, if they're on their game, they can score goals. It's just and like we saw with Dembele not tracking back for that second goal, it's just that, in my opinion, they're more of a risk together because we need, in that game, it would have been better to accept, okay, at the moment we've got a point because we were 1-1 when the substitutions came on. And
on top.
And on top of the game. So I think Mark Vinus' thoughts might have been, well, let's give a bit more flair and see if we can go forward. But the problem is, with a team like Ipswich Town, who are so quick on the break, that if you don't track back like Dembele and all the rest of the players who've done their responsibility, teams like that are going to punish you, and they did, and that was really, really disappointing because I would have been happy to walk away from Ipswich with a point.
Definitely.
It would have been a good point. Okay, it might not have been 3 points, but it would have given us confidence going into Southampton. But I do feel that the timing of those substitutions and the substitutions as well, taking off Paker and Dazal and bringing on Bakuna
Yeah.
and Dembele, in my opinion, and I'm not a football manager, but I think that's actually what lost us the game.
Yeah, I agree. And Dazal and Paik, fair enough. No one had amazing games, but they were still front-footed. They were going forward. We were bringing the game to Ipswich in that first part of the second half. And I thought genuinely that we weren't going to win it 3-4, 5-1, but I thought we could have snuck a goal in there and actually put a bit of pressure on. But it was really disappointing subs. And again, retrospectively, when I thought back about the game, that was the turning point when Sunjic came on and Dembele and Bakuna came on. That turned the game completely on its head. And even Sunjic, he runs around like a mad hatter. There's no doubt about his work ethic and he's the engine room. But we didn't need that. We needed Paik and Dazal to keep pushing the ball forward. And as you say, I mean, I don't want to take too much glory here, but almost everything we predicted in the preview video last Friday came true. They were fast on the break. They attacked us on the wings. They got crosses in the box, especially during that first 20 minutes in the first half when they were really gunning at us.
Yeah.
And we were sloppy. Fair enough. Miyoshi did pretty good for the goal, setting up Jordan James, but his passing was poor.
He had a poor game.
Laird's passing was really poor. That was disappointing to see. And me and you said we need to stop them at the source. Remember, we need to stop those crosses coming into the box in the first place, and they were still coming in left, right, and centre at one point during the game.
Well, I was pleased in the ground to see Wes Burns going off because he went off really early in the match. But then they replaced him with Armand Hutchinson, what a player he is.
He dominated the game.
He made a massive difference. But again, right from when he came on, he was getting wide, getting the ball, getting crosses in, and that should have been cut out. And so I think that as you pointed out, that's been a problem side for us. Which has been our left or the opposition team's right, which didn't cut out. I think the goals as well. The second goal was too easy. It was literally a ball played down that right hand side, which was fed through to Twinzabi. He cut it in, and then Sarmiento literally had to just kick it in from no.
How many times have we seen this goal conceded this season? Sheffield Wednesday, West Brom. I can't think off the top of my head, but I think I've seen 5 or 6 goals really similar to this go in. So we have a problem down that left-hand side. And fair enough, Laird, I think he's not a natural left-back because he's right-footed. But I think he has put a few shifts in the last couple of games. But he was poor. I think he was pretty poor yesterday. And it didn't help with Dembele not tracking back for that second goal for sure. That is on Dembele.
Well, the third goal was even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, the third goal again was lofted up again to their right-hand side, our left. Kiefer Moore just heads it on.
Shocking.
And then Hutchinson just goes through and scores. I think that's partly as well because just before that, we'd just taken off Sanderson and brought on Jukovic. So we were really short in that position, trying to chase the game, which we shouldn't have been in that position because we shouldn't have been 2-1 down based upon the fact that we were playing all right before the substitution. So I totally agree with you, Matt. I think the nature of the goals that we conceded, even though Ipswich are a good side, we shouldn't be conceding goals like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, I don't think it was all doom and gloom until the substitutions happened. I thought we were in the game. I thought we were going to win it. And we had, as I said, Ipswich had a spell between 5 minutes and sort of 35, 40 minutes. Majority of the first half, they were on top. And fair play to Ipswich. They catch you up. They are fast, aren't they, when they go forward? They really get that ball shifting and zipping around.
They are a good side. They're a very good side. And they counter-attack quickly, but they go forward in numbers as well.
They do, yeah.
And also as well, defensively, they're quite strong as well. And you can see why they are where they are in the league. They're a very compact team in terms of their playing style. They know each other really, really well. And they've got good options on the bench as well. I just think that, we need to be better in our game management because that's the type of game where I accept that you might need to bring on creative players if you're losing because you do need a goal. But at the point they came on, we already had a point. And, and I think that made our team much more vulnerable. I did call it when I spoke to my daughter. I actually said, we're going to lose this game. Yeah. Obviously, that wasn't recorded, but I did actually say that. And it's only because, this is real gripe I have, is when they bring on Dembele and Bakuna together. It's worked for the last 2 games against Sunderland, against Blackburn. But I don't think it creates us. It gives us this vulnerability that allows us, unless those players who are creative can actually put the shift in and get back and support the team when we're under attack.
Mm,
That is always going to be happening, unfortunately. Yeah,
yeah.
and you're right about Laird. I think he could have had a better game, but I do think because of that, he did lack support as well at certain times as well. I
Mm,
always think that we do give teams a lot of space on the wings,
mhm.
and players like Hutchinson, who are good players anyway, are always going to always want to cross the ball. So
Yeah.
unless we cut that out, we're going to continue to
But
concede more goals, I
And
think.
again, please go back to the Friday video and look at our comments. I said our players need to stop the source and don't come into the centre
You
backs.
did, yeah,
And what did they do?
yeah,
They came into the centre backs and we allowed Ipswich to get balls into the box and they
yeah.
nearly scored a couple of times. I was so frustrated watching it and I just thought, oh, come on, like you can't. I mean, I was a left back and a winger. And number one, just going back to that second goal with Dembele, as a winger, you are always told to track your man. That's Sunday League. That
Yeah.
that's children's football. That is basic from Dembele. I think he'll look back at that and be a bit embarrassed that he didn't track back as quickly. I hope he does, and I hope he learns from it. And as a left back, you stop the crosses coming into the box. You cut them off at the source.
Yeah.
You don't give them the space. Maybe this is a new modern football technique, like playing out from the back. We give those wingers a little bit more space, which seems bonkers to me. But I see it all the time at Blues. We give
Yeah.
wingers too much respect and too much time. And we did it. And we did exactly the same against Ipswich, and it was so frustrating to watch.
I think what was interesting about watching Ipswich, though, they're a team at the top of the league virtually, and who are going for automatic promotion. And then obviously we're a team, I would say, struggling in the league because I mean, you can't deny what the league table says, and the difference between the two was quite obvious. We often overplayed the ball and got tackled when we were in forward positions. We did get some shots in, but when you look at them, they basically shoot on sight, or they're trying to play clever balls through that are gettable by their players, where we tend to sort of almost like run out of ideas too much. And that's the difference between a top team and us. And if you look at the stats as well, 60% Ipswich, 40% Birmingham City, which actually is an improvement for us in terms of, going back a number of months. We wouldn't have had 40% in a game like that, not with the team dominating. But they had 26 shots in total. We had 11.
Yeah.
And there again tells you that they have more opportunity to shoot
Yeah.
on side. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, I was going to jump in. After 24 minutes, it was 70% possession to Ipswich. So again, in that first half, they really did pile on that pressure.
Yeah.
But it's not all doom and gloom, Blues fans. I think personally, a fair result. Okay, if we take those substitutions out, it happened. We can't deny it. We've lost the game and move on. But that, I think we were worthy of a point. I really do. I think we could have came away from that game with a point. I think it's still positive. I think JJ had a pretty good game on the left-hand side in the first half.
Yeah.
I think he had little glimpses of positivity. Paik and Dazal definitely make us a more front-footed team. It's not doom and gloom, and it's not all negative. I think we're going to be okay. I really mean that. But you, in your introduction to this video, you had a very valid point. And I know I'm going to contradict myself here by a little bit of a doom and gloom statement, but everyone around us won at the weekend, apart from Stoke. So that was a really real.
That was a nail in the coffin, really.
Yeah.
Because I think if a few of those teams hadn't picked up points or had got draws, we would have been less concerned about this. Because at the end of the day, we're playing Ipswich Town. They're a team that's had a fantastic season, a really, really good footballing team. And I think, in all honesty, Blues fans, more probably with hope than judgment would have thought, well, if we can get a point from this game. I don't think many of us really expect us to win this game, and that's just an honest assessment of where both teams are at the moment. So the fact that we lost to Ipswich, I think if we're all honest Birmingham City supporters, a lot of you out there would have expected us not to win this game. But as Matt's already said, and I said in the intro, the problem is that all the other teams won around us, and that puts so much extra pressure, and it almost makes the defeat feel a lot worse, doesn't it?
It does. But when you're playing those teams in and around you, fair enough, Ipswich are challenging with the big three that came down. But when you lose a game and everyone else wins, it feels like the gap is just closing and closing and closing, doesn't it? But we have got a game in hand, and we've got some big games coming up in March. So we've got Southampton at home coming up at the weekend. Then we've got Hull, Millwall. We've also got QPR in March, and Watford and Borough at home in March as well. So it's a huge month for this league.
It really is, yeah. I mean, just for Birmingham City supporters, let me tell you what fixtures we have left, just so that you know. That after we've played Southampton and Hull, which are obviously in the top six, we've got Leicester away. Then we've got home games against these are not in order, by the way. These are just based upon where teams are in the league table. We've got Norwich, Preston, and Coventry, Watford, Middlesbrough, and Cardiff. all to play at home, and then away we've still got 4 of the bottom 6 to play away, so they're clearly 6-pointers. So there's plenty of points to play for you, and it's not all doom and gloom, because actually, as much as we've analysed what we didn't do right in that game, there was a lot of positive things in that game. We played some good football, and I think that it's easy after a defeat like that, and with everything that's happened over this weekend, to get into the doldrums. But there's still plenty of football to play, and still plenty of points to play for. And I agree with Matt. I think we're going to be okay.
We have to improve our away form, especially with playing 4 out of the bottom 6 away. We have to start picking up some points on the road. Our away form has been shocking. There's no point in denying that. So as we move into March, April, season close, we need to pick up some points, especially your Millwalls, your QPRs. We have to be getting 3 points from those games. And every 3, as you say, the perfect definition is a 6-pointer. Every time we win those games, we push ourselves out as well. And I'm going to say, I'm going to be really optimistic, Blues fans. I'm going to think at the end, all said and done, at the end of the season, I think Blues are going to be 17th.
You've said that all along. Yeah.
I really do, and I really believe it. And I think if you watch Blues play, especially with this Alan Pate now making us more front-footed, we're not a bad team.
Yeah.
We just, in the Championship, you have to be switched on for 90 plus 5-6 minutes, whatever it is, and we're not there at the moment. We're having patches in games. We're not having that full 90+ minute performances. And if we can flip that round and start to play for the full game, I think we'll be absolutely fine, and I think we'll get there. I really do.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. And it'd be interesting to see what happens when Pritchard comes into the team as well, because I think he'll have something different as well, which we haven't got at the moment. So that'll be good as well. And just like to say a big thank you, really, to the Blues supporters. I think it was organised by Punjabi Blues, who organised the banner for Tony Mowbray. And full respect to the Ipswich Town fans who, in the 5th minute, had a round of applause, and his picture came up on the screen, and it was really deserved for Tony. So once again, Tony, we're wishing you a speedy recovery, and to see you back at the Blues as soon as you're possibly able. But what do you think, Blues fans? We obviously disappointed. It's not been a great weekend, but let's not get into the doldrums. Let's support our team. Let's get behind Mark Venus and the players, because basically they're all we've got, aren't they? We're the supporters. We're the one that we can be the 12th man. And let's make sure that St Andrews is a fortress, that we make it really difficult for the teams that have still got to come to St Andrews, and also we can continue to improve our waveform. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the match, and what you think about the rest of the season moving forward. And also, Ipswich Town fans, if any of you guys have got any comments, please let us know what you think as well. And we do want to wish, now that we've played you twice, we'll wish Ipswich Town all the best for the rest of the season. So if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe to the channel for future videos so you don't miss any further content, then don't forget to press that subscribe button. And me and Matt will see you on the next video.